In terms of alone, there's a lot of other things going wrong with this state government. They've extended 6 months of this CNS, Custody Notification Service. It proved to save lives. If you knock that on the head, that tells me one thing: you want to kill Aboriginal people. It's as simple as that. Don't say it's a budgetary cut. You want to kill Aboriginal people. And if you want to kill Aboriginal people, you're nothing more than Ku Klux Klan in silk ties in there. That's all you'll ever be. Now, we've got to get to the crux of this. Stop mucking around. This thing about not housing, that's about genocide.
Divided we fall.
Keeping people separated, keeping people apart, stopping the little ones coming to the armies and learning is part of genocide. It's more about white supremacy than it is about justice for our people. And this is what we need to realise. This is about white supremacy. I wore this T-shirt today because the Jimmy Little Foundation, the Thumbs Up program, which teaches remote communities about nutrition to little children, and again saving lives, has now been defunded.
Shame!
If you want to defund programs that save lives, the opposite applies. You want to kill those people.
Yeah.
Call it for what it is, people. We have to change the language. This is murder, this is genocide. Yeah. I'll hand you over to our next speakers from the Greens. The Greens have been good in supporting Aboriginal people at a state level. I'm not too keen on a national level. And let's hope our state colleagues can talk to the national colleagues about being a bit more proactive, especially with their rubbish when they come out and support recognition. And here's Jenny Leong and David Shoebridge. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathered on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation and say it always was and always will be Aboriginal land. The building behind us is simply a unapproved tenant that is there attempting to make laws in the interest of the people, but having been in that parliament since March, I can say that I unfortunately see very little decisions in that building behind us that are in the interests of the people. My name's Jenny Leong. I'm the Greens member for Newtown. I was actually here because David was inside, but David's going to speak. But I just wanted to say that as the local member for the area, I wanted to show my complete and utter support for ensuring that there is Aboriginal housing on the block. There is a need to recognise that we have so much money being pumped into private companies in the central to Everleigh area, in all the redevelopment of that area around Redfern, and yet at the same time we see that this state government can't stump up the money for some Aboriginal housing that is so key to what is the history of Redfern, that is what is the history to the first people of this country, and what is the history to celebrating Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander in this country. And we must say to them that they have got their priorities wrong, and whatever it is that they're planning to do at Redfern Station, at Central, all around that development, they need to find the money first and know that we will cause big problems for them if they start putting money into kicking all of the people that have lived in Redfern out so that they can build big, ugly apartments. Sydney becomes an uber-rich place where only the wealthy can live, and we lose all of our heritage and culture. So I will say that as the local member, I will stand with you and fight until we see Aboriginal housing on the block. And I pass you over to my Greens colleague, David Shoebridge.
I pay my respects to the elders past and present, many of whom are here today. Jenny and others, the courage you've shown over the last 14 months as a community to stand up for a simple principle, that Aboriginal land remains Aboriginal land, that the block in Redfern is an iconic piece of Aboriginal land, a reclaiming of Aboriginal sovereignty, a reclaiming of Aboriginal land. It can never be lost. That's what we're saying. Jenny's dead right. What kind of mean government goes through a process of doing billion-dollar developments in the city? An enormous development over in Barangaroo, no social housing in it. They've got plans to transform Redfern to Everleigh. But we know that part of their transformation plans is to remove the black faces from Redfern. They've been clear about it. The developer's been clear about it. Well, we stand here united to say never will that happen. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. This coming Friday, we will see the myth of terra nullius repeated in the Supreme Court. The idea that traditional owners, that elders, Aboriginal elders can trespass on Aboriginal land in the centre of Sydney would have to be one of the most offensive myths that underpins land law in this country. It is a disgrace. As a barrister, long-time lawyer, you look at the laws sometimes that this Parliament puts on the statute books and you're offended to the core. And what could be more offensive than a ruling by the highest court in the state that Aboriginal people are trespassing on Aboriginal lands in the centre of our city? Let's hope it doesn't get to that. But if it does not end there. I said before, Jenny said it, and I've got to say, it is so good to have a member of this calibre saying these things and representing the people of Newtown and the people of Redfern. My hat's off to you, Jenny.